Well, we welcome you back to Oakland, and working with us on the sidelines again this year, George Atkinson. And you talk about a steal of the 1968 NFL Draft when the Raiders selected DB out of Morris Brown in the 7th round. He was a member of the famed Soul Patrol and Super Bowl 11 championship team. George set a Raiders single-game record. 205 punt return yards against Buffalo during his rookie campaign. He's 5th on the Raiders all-time interception list with 30. And I'll tell you, you talk about George, a great defensive backfield. And how about Charles Woodson, the veteran out of Michigan?
Guys, a big question in the Raiders camp this year is whether Charles Woodson can stay healthy throughout the season. The #1 draft choice in 1998 has played at a Pro Bowl level for 4 years, but the last 2 seasons, guys, his performance has slipped. If Charles Woodson can remain healthy throughout the season, this already talented secondary will be a lot better. Back to you guys.
All right, George, appreciate it. And the specialist in the long kicking department, Owen Poshman, is going to kick it away. And back deep is Rodney Jenkins. This is a short kick.
Is that okay?
And it is taken at the 7-yard line. Jenkins with some room. Only the kicker to beat. Oh, what a start for Jenkins, who 2 years ago was the best in the business in the NFL in that department.
Well, that's why they wanted him, the Raiders, because they saw him down in San Diego. He became disenchanted there. He didn't like when Marty Schottenheimer came in, and Jim Plunkett, look at him, he just takes the seam and finds something on the outside.
And you're absolutely right. That's exactly why they acquired him, to add a little more punch to their special teams. And he starts right off with a great return against the St. Louis Rams.
46 yards on the kickoff return as Gannon brings out the offense. The 2 set back with Crockett and Garner. So great field position at the 47 of the Rams. And good yardage up the middle for Garner. Gets close to the 42 of St. Louis. Well, Rich Gannon, the MVP year. 210 in his 17th season out of Delaware. And was good as any quarterback in the National Football League. Again, the MVP. His 4th straight Pro Bowl. Working up front, the outstanding offensive line, Barry Sims, Frank Middleton, Adam True gets the start at center. Mo Collins and the 3-time Pro Bowler Lincoln Kennedy. Crockett, Garner in the backfield. The wideouts are Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, and the second-year man out of BYU, Doug Jolly, the tight end. So it's 2nd and 4 for Oakland from the Rams' 42-yard line. And again, they keep it on the ground. Garner, and he will not make it, bringing up a 3rd and short. Let's look at the St. Louis defense. Leonard Little, Ryan Pickett, Damian Lewis, the linebackers Young, and the rookie Pisa, Tidoi Samoa, Robert Thomas, Thomas Poley, and an outstanding defensive back. You see Butler Fisher, Adam Archuleta, and the soon-to-be a Hall of Famer when he's done playing, Aeneas Williams. So 3rd and 3 for the Raiders. Garner, the lone setback. Now Rice in motion. Good protection for Gannon. And it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jolly, and that will bring up a 4th down.
And that's very unusual for Doug to drop a pass like that. It was a tough catch to make. He was well guarded, but those are the kinds of catches he usually comes up with. Got 32 passes a year ago. Came, after Rowan Williams got injured, he played a lot more and showed what he could do. He reminds me a lot of Todd Christensen, a go-to guy who could find a way to get open, catch the ball, and make the tacklers miss him and get some extra yardage that way.
Shane Leckler will kick it away, the former Buffalo Bill. Leon Johnson is back deep. Just underway, first quarter. And Leckler aiming it for the corner. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Only played in 7 games last year, Jim.
Really struggled with the hand. Started at the end of the last year. A lot of people thought he hurt that hand in the Super Bowl and the playoff games, and it just kind of carried over. It was a nightmare season for him, and a lot of people jumped off the bandwagon.
And he looks to throw and has the very dangerous Torrey Holt, the 6th-year man out of NC State. Again, Kurt Warner, the quarterback, injury-riddled a year ago. Up front, John St. Clair, Andy McCollum, Dave Wallabaugh, Adam Timmerman, and Kyle Turley. J.R. Nicholas, Lamar Gordon, the receivers, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and the tight end is Brandon Manuma Leona.
Good job.
Let's hope he only 2 or 3 downs.
Got through them both sides of the ball. You got some names there, Grant.
Rams last year at 7-9. 2nd and inches. And a first down for the Rams. Lamar out of North Dakota State. Well, let's look at the Raiders defense. And you see Kenyon Coleman, Rod Coleman, John Perella, and the rookie Tyler Brayton with the Bill Romanowski, the second-year man. What a year Napoleon Harris had. Outstanding from last year. Woodson, Shaw, Gibson, and of course, arguably the best to ever play the free safety position. That man right there, Rod Woodson. So it is a first down for the Rams as Kurt Warner operates from his own 33-yard line. Come on. Pressure's on. John Perella gets him. Oh, Perella beat his man. Penalty marker is down. Boy, guys, you know, you talk about John Perella. He came into camp 8 pounds lighter this season, and he has said it's made a big difference getting off the.
Yeah, during training camp, he worked on a lot of new techniques. He was able to show improvement as far as his pass rush went from a year ago, and that shows up right away against the Rams.
But it's all for naught. The penalty is going against the
holding. Defense, number 24, 5 yards, automatic. First down.
The referee, Mike Carey, making the call, so that will bring the football out to the 39-yard line.
Charles Woodson called for the hold.
So the Rams with another first down. 3 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter, and the delay. And Lamar not able to pop it outside, and he is hemmed in. Tyler Brayton, the rookie out of Colorado, the first-round pick, and boy, they feel he's going to be a dandy, guys.
And yeah, he certainly is. He's a high-energy guy. He's gotten a lot of fights during training camp because that's the kind of guy he is. Got a high motor going all the time, and you know, they like what they see in him. He's going to be an excellent pass rusher as he learns more and more technique, especially from a guy like Trace Armstrong.
University of Colorado, man, my alma mater. Got to be good.
Second down.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
And Warner. And it's picked off. Woodson. And he's tackled, but not before he gets to the 34. Charles Woodson with the interception, the 4-time Pro Bowler. And it will be Oakland football.
Well, the guy that got the pressure on him, the guy we're talking about, Tyler Brayton, Jim Plunkett.
Yeah, and, you know, there he goes. He takes the guard head on and pushes him right back into the quarterback's face, which is always tough because the quarterback has no to step up to. And, you know, you kind of wonder if Kurt Warner is still suffering a little bit from last year.
Well, that's a disturbing play if you're a Ram fan, because that looks just awful. That looks like a lot of what we saw last year of Kurt Warner. There was no reason to make that pass. Put away, Jim, right?
Of course, and the pass right before that, even though there was a penalty, he threw it right in number 36 arms, and that could have been intercepted as well. So, you know, not right now, Kurt Warner not looking too sharp.
So it's a first down at the 35 of the Rams. Second possession for the Oakland Raiders, and it's Garner. Nothing going on. Let's talk a little bit about Rich Gannon. He knows he's only going to be taking a couple of snaps. What's he trying to accomplish here in his first preseason game?
You know, it's all about execution. You know, he only dropped back for one pass, a pass that could have been caught. It looks like they're trying to run the ball a little bit, establish the running game. And even though they set a number of records throwing the ball, putting the ball in the air in attempts and receptions and completions, they still ran the ball very effectively. Charlie Garner had 962 yards. In fact, over the last 4 years, the only guy who rushed from the line of scrimmage and caught more passes than Charlie Garner is Marshall Faulk.
Double tight end formation. And Gannon, look out. And it down from behind, back at the 44. Has brought down the veteran in his 7th year out of Nebraska, and a dandy, Wistrop, who had 4.5 sacks last year, and he gets Gannon around the ankles.
And that's what you got to protect Gannon a little bit better than that. You know, and I just think it looked like Mo Collins just missed that particular block. He should have been blocked a lot better than he was. But Winston, a veteran, comes after the quarterback very hard. It doesn't take many downs of rest down there. He's a player.
A loss of 9, making it 3rd and long. Raiders have to get to the 24-yard line to pick up a first down. This time the protection is outstanding. But nobody was open, and Gannon has to eat the football. But he had time, throw Plunk. He had time, but nobody was open downfield.
You know, and there's 2 ways to get a sack. One is to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, come after him, and get a sack, and the other is a coverage sack. Obviously, he couldn't find anybody open downfield. Eventually, the pass protection breaks down, and it turned into a sack on Gannon.
Just a real smart play by Gannon that time, though. This is preseason. They're in the second series. What are you trying to force it? He's obviously not going to run the ball. They're on the infield, the dirt. That's not what they want to be on, but that's what basically the whole field is here right now.
But another thing is he's already been sacked twice in 6 plays, and that's not a good sign either.
No, Bill Callahan told us before the game, you and I, Jim, that he wanted to see the team execute tonight, be real fundamental, see the basics, and then look at the other 34 guys who are new to the roster. So the first 2 offensive series here, I'm sure he's not pleased with the execution.
Leon Johnson, the fair catch at the 12, and when we come back, that's where St. Louis will take over 1st and 10. First quarter action with 9:09 left, no score.
For a guy who's been in camp for a couple weeks and had basically a year off to recuperate.
I don't think there's anything wrong with his hand. I think there's something wrong with his confidence.
Well, they go to 4 receiver set on a 1st down. The reality is a lot of fans in St. Louis want Mark Bolger to be the starting quarterback. So if he gets off to a start this season, you may have a quarterback controversy as flags come flying on no game. But let's get back to that. Bolger, who was a 3rd-string quarterback a year ago, came in and played almost flawlessly, and he has a lot of fans on his side in St. Louis.
Oh, he certainly does. And, I truly believe that Kurt Warner continues to play like this through preseason. There is going to be a controversy. Bolger is going to get his opportunity to play off of what he did a year ago. And I think that,
still 1st down.
MVP a couple of times, and everybody jumped off the ship. It has hurt his confidence, as you say, Jim, but he's got to get it back together here, and I would think that these preseason games are probably more important to him now than in the past.
And they dump it off underneath, and Manuma Leona he's across the 10 to the yard line.
There was a big decision, Jim, I'd like to ask you, that they made in this offseason. They were thinking about not even keeping Kurt Warner, either dealing him or getting rid of that contract. They elected to keep him. Right thing to do, do you think? What do you do?
I think most of the problems we had last year were due to his hand. There's no question about it, but I think that progressed to even more of a serious problem and his lack of confidence out there.
2nd along, Troy Holt wide out bottom of the screen, and here comes the pressure. Warner sidesteps it, and again it's the tight end, Brandon Manuma Leona. And he carries it out across the 15 to the 17.
How do you spell that name?
You got a half hour?
Yeah, we do.
And so, you got to expect him to bounce back.
Scoreless as we're halfway through quarter number 1. And it's Isaac Bruce in motion. Warner, they've got him back to the 5-yard line. And it's Rod Coleman, the 5th-year player out of East Carolina, and it's a punt time for the St. Louis Rams.
And Rod Coleman, the sack leader a year ago for the Raiders with 11 sacks. And, it's great to put a lot of pressure up the middle because the quarterback has nowhere to step up to. He's got to shuffle sideways, and that's very difficult for a quarterback to be able to shuffle sideways and still step into a throw. Great play by Rod Coleman.
Doug Gabriel is awaiting the kick, and Sean Landeta, who's played for about 5 decades, is standing just inside the end line. Hard to believe Landeta's still kicking, but with kicks like that, it's easy to see why. High, spiraling kick, Gabriel at the 45. And a good return into Rams territory at the 36-yard line. We are scoreless. When we come back, it will be Oakland football.
Beat us during the regular season. It was a good payback for us. A great victory by a very good Raider football team.
Well, Gannon is done for the evening. Marcus Tuiasosopo, who definitely needs some snaps, and the Raiders feeling very good about his progress. Tyrone Wheatley getting the carry. Marcus Tuiasosopo is on 4 balls.
I just want to ask Jim something here. Jim, you come off that Super Bowl. Great season the Raiders had. Losing in the Super Bowl, the performance that Rich Gannon had. Now you come out here, you've been waiting 6 or 7 months to get back out in the field. You're out here for 2 series a couple of times. Does it mean anything?
Not really. He knows.
Are you kind of dying to get back out there and do well, though?
I think so a little bit, especially if you know Rich Gannon as the kind of competitor he is. But, Tuiasosopo, this is his 3rd year. He's played very little. Everybody's waiting for him to take over the helm, and there a bad pass on his part, although the receiver did fall down, but still he's got to be a little bit sharper than that.
Travis Fisher, the man that had the ball pop out of his hands. So it's 3rd and 9, as we said. Tuiasosopo in And he'll get a lot of playing time here this evening. Scoreless first quarter with 6:15 left. And he steps up nicely to avoid the pressure. And he has his man. The official, though, says no, out of bounds. So it will be incomplete. Aldous Whitted, 60-year player out of NC State, not able to get both feet down.
You know, I playing time, believe me.
All right, let's watch the leg of Sebastian Janikowski, as this will be a 3-yard attempt. Shane Leckler to hold. And this is short. So the Rams will take over from the spot of kick, and it will be their football 1st and 10. Scoreless first quarter action here from Oakland.
Replacing Kurt Warner, and if he has a good game or good series of downs, can put pressure on Kurt Warner.
And he'll go right to work up top. Oh boy. Wide open, and again it's Brandon Manuma. He's having a nice first quarter, and that's going to be first down yardage.
I think the controversy just started there.
Oh, without
Jim.
question, you know, and that's exactly what I meant. And plus, you see Mark Bulger drops back with confidence. I don't think, you know, there was a blitz by the Raiders. He held his ground, stood in the pocket until his receiver got open. And I don't think I saw that in Kurt Warner when he was back there throwing the ball. He was shuffling his feet. He had what they call happy feet. And Bulger, on the other hand, dropped back, planted, stood there, found his receiver, and got the ball to him.
A 25-yard gain for St. Louis. And again, the pass near side is complete to McDonald. And the Raiders defense, Tyler Brayton. And
like he fumbled.
The official said no, that the player was down, so it will stay St. Louis football.
You know, I don't know how much you guys have been watching Tyler Brayton, but he's all over the field. If the play is away from him, he chases it down. On that particular play, it was a quick screen to the wide receiver, and Brayton runs it down from the outside.
He's got his motor running all the time, doesn't he?
He certainly does. You know, he's a tough guy to keep down, believe me. You know, I met him in the locker room first time prior to the game, and he seemed like the nicest guy in the world. But once he puts his pads on, boy, he's a hustler out there.
Troy Edwards, bottom of the screen. Now the delay. And Lamar Gordon, the ball carrier. Napoleon Harris, the outstanding linebacker from a year ago in his rookie campaign, makes the stop. And obviously movement. The Rams will be backed up 5 yards. Now Turley, the free agent pickup. Of course, the other all-pro tackle, Orlando Pace, is holding out, not with the ball club. And it is complete. Gordon able to break the tackle and scoot forward close to the first down. Lamar Gordon, and the spot, they're going to be very close.
Back to you, Grant.
All right, thank you, George. And 4th and short.
Okay.
And it is
I don't think he got it.
Very, very close.
Didn't get it.
Good defensive play.
Eric Barton in there on the tackle. It's going to depend on the spot. Well, I'll tell you, the Raiders defense think they've stopped him. They're coming off the field.
No, he lost yardage, Grant.
Yep, I think you're right. And it is going to be Oakland football. Boy, what a great job.
And that's what you want to see at the point of attack. Penetration, got behind the line of scrimmage. Eric Barton was able to make the tackle short of the first down.
Anthony Dorsett really held on there. Showing some great strength right there, Jim Plunkett.
Oh, he's a strong kid. You know, big upper body, a lot of strength. Also, those defensive backs do, and they have to have it too, because they take on guards coming around the end, trying to fend off receivers, trying to slow them down using their hands. They're pretty strong upper body guys.
Wheatley, the lone setback now. Jolly joins him in the backfield. Marcus Tuiasosopo, the quarterback, with 3:45 left first quarter. And in motion is Ronald Curry. Look out! And it got him as the pressure applied by Leonard Little. 85 tackles a year ago, 12 sacks. And he got the step and unobstructed to Marcus Tuiasosopo.
Yeah, he led the team, the Rams, last year in sacks, and he gets off the ball very quickly. Lincoln Kennedy just cannot keep up with him. He's just too fast off the ball.
Well, and again, I think at this point in the preseason, you'll find defenses are a little bit ahead of the offense. There's a perfect example.
Yeah, without question.
Have we ever heard that before?
Oh, yeah. Every time.
But every coach
every year
says
about this time.
Every coach says that right now. next couple of weeks.
I know Lincoln's saying it right now. Doug Jolly. Well, what a year Doug Jolly had last season. You know, they bring in a Roland Williams. He's the tight end. He gets injured. And Jolly really comes from nowhere. I mean, they knew that someday he would be good. But Plunk, I don't know if they thought he'd be good so fast.
Absolutely. And, you know, he performed very well for him. As I mentioned earlier in this game, you know, he's a lot like Todd Christensen. He finds a way to get open. He's got great hands, and he also makes you miss a lot when you try to tackle him. So he's the kind of receiver that the Raiders are used to having at tight end.
3rd and 11 for Tuiasosopo and the Raiders. And it'll be 4th down. And another look at Shane Leckler as the rookie out of Hawaii. He's a Tinoi Samoa makes the tackle.
You know, but that's it's not a good sign. You know, it's both quarterbacks been sacked 4 times total now. Got to protect your quarterback. These guys are going to drop back a lot, especially Gannon, during the course of the season. And you know, the more hits you get, the more sacks you receive, the more beat up you get as the season progresses. Sometimes that affects your play, obviously.
So Leckler will punt. Johnson waiting at his own 30-yard line. And Johnson will field it back at his 26. Good special teams coverage. Oh boy, O.J. Santiago, the first man down there. First quarter action scoreless. We'll be right back.
Well, beautiful store at Universal Walk up at Universal City and Studio City, Los Angeles. Beautiful store, and there are also going to be some Raider items at Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. So get over to Saks and Universal City.
And a fumble. And the Rams look like they have it.
And that's one of the things the Raiders were great at last year, getting turnovers, causing fumbles, intercepting the football, but great hustle.
You see the little pass out there to Johnson, Lamar Gordon.
At the 30.
But that was made with just hustle by Eric Johnson, reaching out, making him fumble the football. And the Raiders were very good at this a year ago.
A loss of 2. 2nd and 12. Troy Edwards goes wide left. Out of the eye. Play action. And a first down complete to Kevin Curtis. He's a rookie out of Utah State. And he's near midfield. They're going to mark it at about the 47-yard line.
You know, and once again, I like the way Mark Bolger's playing. He gets back there with confidence. He threw it a little bit behind him, but the kid was able to reach back and come up with a good catch, and that's points for him as far as.
Even though you don't lose your position to injury, but he should have continued because the team was on a roll.
18-yard gain, and now they stay on the ground. Gordon. Tell you guys, when's the last time in the National Football League you saw 2 third-string quarterbacks come in during the season, the other being A.J. Feely for Philadelphia, and perform as the best quarterback the year? I mean, a lot of people say
they have a lot more time in the offseason to learn the playbook and practice with their receivers.
And again, they keep this one on the ground. Gordon out of North Dakota State plowing straight ahead. And he's very close to the first down, and that will do it for the first 15 minutes. We'll go to the second quarter here from Oakland. Oakland, St. Louis, scoreless. Well, we get ready to start the second quarter. No score. Grant Napier, Jim Plunkett, Jim Gray. And the Raiders, Tyler Brayton. We've heard so much about him in camp. The first-round pick out of Colorado. What an outstanding debut for that young man.
Yeah, he hasn't disappointed at all. He's all over the field, putting pressure on the quarterback, running down running backs from the opposite side of the field. And that's exactly why they drafted him, because of the way he does play.
John Gruden trade, if you will. Still paying dividends.
I'll tell you what else is impressive. All camp he's been working on the side. Then Grant gets hurt, and they move him over the right end for this game. And it looks like he's been playing there his whole life. Now the end around. And Sean McDonald not able to turn the corner, although he does get the first down. He thought that when he first got the ball, there would be a lot more pursuit. It's impressive. All camp he's been working on the left side. Then Grant gets hurt, and they move him over the right end for this game. And it looks like he's been playing there his whole life. Now the end around. And Sean McDonald not able to turn the corner, although he does get the first down. He thought that when he first got the ball, there would be a lot more good pursuit by the Raider defense, but again to move the chains, and it'll be first down for St. Louis.
Take a look at Tyler Braden. Went to the University of Colorado. 47 games there, 152 tackles, 99 by himself. Take a look at him in action over at Folsom Field. Picking up the ball, he can do just about everything. This guy is just an incredible athlete.
Back to live action, and a shoestring catch, and it is complete to Brandon Manuma Leona.
And that's twice that Bulger's been saved by great catches. The ball was low and behind him, and he reached back and was able to pick the ball up for St. Louis.
And now they're going to challenge this. The Raiders feel that that ball hit the dirt. The red flag. Restless.
The Raiders believe they have some indisputable evidence.
After reviewing the play, the receiver lost control of the ball when it hit the ground, making an incomplete pass. The second down on the 41-yard line. Oakland will not recharge for the timeout.
Got it right.
That's right, and that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, plus, all teams now, visiting and home teams, also have a spotter up looking at the same that we're looking at here in the booth, and they have to make the call down to the head coach and tell him whether or not to challenge that play.
And they did it just in time.
Please put 13:51 on the game clock.
Young quarterbacks too. A long time in the NFL for a lot of different teams, and he's really helping these young quarterbacks out.
All right, it's second down with the ball at the 42 of Oakland. Bulger trying to buy some time. Boy, did he take a pop from behind, and he's not getting up.
He took a pop from the front and the back. He got sandwiched between two defenders.
David Moretti is the one that got him.
Eric Johnson. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, wow.
You hate to see that in the preseason. Good job by the Raiders, but I mean, these guys just are taking a beating, these quarterbacks tonight.
Oh, are they ever?
Yeah, they are. Both defenses are playing very well, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and you run free like that and you got a big head start, boy, it can hurt sometimes.
Great catch by Curtis. Just was out of bounds.
Nice job by the rookie Moretti out of Oregon. Now Bulger, third and long. And he has his man for a first down. Troy Edwards out of Louisiana Tech makes the catch, senior player. And that will move the chains with 13:40 left in the first half.
Sure looked like he'll play rule, right? But that's not reviewable anyway.
Mark Bulger, 6 of 8. Make it 7 of 9. And nice job of tackling by Anthony Dorsett. He got out there in a hurry, and he rides Lamar Gordon out.
But it's also early for the officials. They're getting into the flow of the game, and maybe they're not as sharp as they will be when the season starts. Maybe.
Maybe, right? Yeah.
It's new for them too. I'm sure they have new crews put together.
Absolutely.
This year, and new officials in the league. And
2nd and 7 for St. Louis. And Gordon inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
I don't know what time of possession has been so far, Grant, but the Raider defense has been out on the field an awful long time, and when you don't get any first downs and you're punting the ball and missing field goals and so forth, this defense has been out there quite a bit, Jim.
It has.
The bottom line.
You bet.
Curtis in motion near side. Bulger. And they're going to say now a flag. A late flag comes in. They're going to say that it's a catch. And if it's a penalty against the Raiders, it would be a first down anyway. But the Jim Gray, that flag came in awfully late on that play.
Sure did. We'll have to wait for them to sort it out. They have a little bit of a conference together. Field judge.
Illegal touching by the offense, number 83. Went out of bounds, was the first to touch the ball inbounds after he established a 5-yard penalty.
The receiver, you can see here, he goes out of bounds. Good call by the official.
See, they don't miss them all. That was a very good call.
Excellent call.
In the offseason. During the regular season, however, guys, you don't want your defense on the field this much. Back to you, Grant.
All right, George. And now a timeout for St. Louis. Their second timeout.
Their
In quarter number 2. It is a 3rd down and long. Quick drop. Short of the first down. Nice defensive play by Derek Gibson. Came up and made his hit.
Interesting, Grant, when Jim and I had an opportunity to speak to Bill Callahan before the game, said that the regiment had changed quite a bit for him and his team this year. He said that he studied the Olympic training program. And, of course, they brought in Tim Adams to help with the training and so forth. But he said he studied the Olympians, wants to see how they do because he has a mix of young guys and old guys. And he really wants to get them into a regiment like they are. And it was just kind of a fascinating look because I hadn't heard that before, Jim, really ever with another football coach. Seemingly it's paying off.
Jeff Wilkins. And no good. Wilkins missing.
You heard of that before, Jim?
Well, actually I have, but normally in the past it's always been, you know, protecting the running backs and the defensive backs and the wide receivers, the small guys, because
Ranked first in the NFL, set NFL records for completions, 300-yard passing game is Mondre Hill checking into the ball game for the first time. It turns the corner for about 4, maybe 5. But back to Rich Gannon as you look at Marcus Tuiasosopo, the 3rd Raider in team history to be named the NFL's most valuable player. And it's just the career that he's had since coming to Oakland, Plunk, is unbelievable.
It certainly is, and it's well deserved a year ago, and maybe even the year before that. He's had the phenomenal seasons with the Raiders. To throw the amount of times he did and complete as many passes he did, that's very difficult to do, and he did a great job running that Raider offense.
Tuiasosopo, and off the slant, Teo Johnson, the other young player that everybody is raving about in camp. The 2nd round pick from Stanford, playing tight end. And folks, remember the name Teo Johnson because he has stardom written all over him.
You know, I've seen a lot of Teo. I live over by Stanford. I go to the games. I always watch him play basketball and football. A nice slant route. He's hung in there. He's enjoying what he's doing. He has been the talk of camp. His progress from wide receiver to tight end.
That's the first down in the ball game for the Raiders, and it was Teo Johnson. Big hole, hit. He may go. See you later. Oh, tackle from behind at the 3. I thought he was gone, but Mondre Hill got a little seam, and he almost went the distance. Brought down from behind by Travis Fisher, the 3rd-year player from Central Florida. But how about Mondre Hill? 50 yards on the carry, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And watch this hole open up for Mondre Hill. He makes a good move, cuts back, breaks a tackle, puts a few more good moves down the field, and tries to outrun the defense, but can't quite do it. Can't quite get into the end zone. A great play by Mondre Hill. He had a great preseason a year ago.
1st and goal. And it's Hill again. Flags everywhere. 3 markers down in the end zone. Boy, what a great run by Hill. And now Tuiasosopo will go over and talk to the official. But you're right, Hill definitely another player that the Raiders really like at a very crowded backfield for Oakland with Crockett and Wheatley, but they love Mondre Hill.
They certainly do.
The defense played with 12 men. Half the distance to the goal.
He was on the practice squad, had a good training camp. He was cut right there at the end. Pays off, and it looks like basis of that last one, he's doing it here in the preseason.
Hill, and his stop right at the line of scrimmage. Clock moving with 9 minutes, 10 seconds left in the half. And now we'll bring up a 2nd down and goal.
You know, you mentioned what a crowded backfield is with Charlie Garner and Justin Fargas from USC and Zach Crockett. And if he's going to make this team, it's probably going to be on special teams.
All right, Tuiasosopo with the ball right at the 1-yard line. And Hill again stopped.
Well, they're doing their best to try and get him the touchdown since he was tackled on the 2-yard line and just can't quite get there the last couple of plays.
And that time Robert Thomas, the 3rd-year player out of UCLA.
Wouldn't surprise me to see Asasopo get to the outside.
Chris Hetherington is the fullback. And touchdown, Hill. And the Raiders score first. Mondre Hill.
You know, on the other hand, you kind of get stubborn down there, and you want to run it over the goal line to give that offensive line a lot of confidence by just running it down their throat, and that's exactly what they did. Good blocking up front, much better than the other 2. Frank Middleton comes around, leads the blocking up the hole.
Janikowski, who did not miss an extra point all of last year. He was perfect, and he's perfect here. 7-0 Oakland on Mondre Hill's 50-yard run, setting up the 1-yard plunge. 7-0 Raiders here from the.
That's what Bill Callahan was looking for, execution.
And Janikowski, and back deep, Arlen Harris at his 2. And brought down by Ronald.
And Ronald Curry is an interesting story. Quarterback from North Carolina. They tried him at quarterback a year ago. Didn't work out. Then they brought him back as a special teams guy. And now he's playing wide receiver and still continuing to perform on special teams. Quite an athlete, really gifted kid, and they're trying to find a spot for him.
In fact, Bill Callahan called him in during the offseason, Jim, and said, hey, where do you want to play? What do you want to do? And we kind of talked it, discussed it, put him at wide receiver, and he, according to Bill Callahan, he has caught everything in training. That it's just been incredible, some of the catches that he's made. So, you know, he's gonna vie for a position. Had one on the team last year, and stuck around, and now he's looking to make it again this year.
And Gordon breaks the tackle. He's out across the 30 to the 34-yard line. David Moretti out of Oregon on the tackle as Mark Bolger stays in at quarterback for the Rams.
You know, Moretti's another kid who feels the only way he can make this team is on special teams, although he's done a great job out there at linebacker.
He's coached by a Madden, you know, Mike Madden.
That's right.
How about that?
How about that?
That's right.
Of course, Mike and Big John and Virginia, all the Maddens are here. John's grandsons, Mike's son. Joe's got a child now as well. Grandpa John Madden. Mike Madden coaching down in high school.
Little play action near side, looking for Curtis, and on one hop and a flag comes in, and it looks like it's going to be pass interference on Brock Williams.
You know, I want to bring something up here, Grant. We just had a great weekend at the Hall of Fame. I think we're going to take a look at it a little bit later as we hear from Mike Carey here first.
Pass interference. Defense, number 34. Automatic. First down.
Go to the Hall of Fame and you see all those great players and at the 40-year reunion, and Al Davis was there. And Grant, go ahead.
Well, yeah, you talk about the Al Davis. You got tight end Dave Casper. Boy, you got the whole gang there.
George Blando.
Yeah, Gene Upshaw, the great Fred Bolitnikoff now on the coaching staff. Art Shell.
Willie Brown.
I mean, it just goes on and on.
Mike
Lester Hayes.
Eric Dickerson.
And, of course, the recent inductees, James Lofton and Marcus Allen, as Gordon has some open field. And he's going to be short of the first down. But, you know, you can follow up on that because you were in Canton last weekend. And what a special moments to be there.
Take a look at Howie Long and Ronnie Lott, and we finish this up, Dave Casper. But Marcus Allen went in along with that man, James Lofton. There you see Marcus. It was great to see Marcus get into the Hall of Fame. It was a wonderful weekend. Marcus accepted the speech, was terrific. Al Davis was there. Al saw fit to fly all the way across the country with the trial going on, team in training camp. The respect that he had for Marcus on the field, he wanted to be there to show that to Marcus. And it was just a great weekend. We can talk more about it.
Well, you say talk about it. One guy that loves to talk is Jerry Porter, and he's with George Atkinson. George?
Guys, I have with me Jerry Porter. Had a phenomenal season last year. Didn't get a lot of playing time in the first exhibition game. Let's talk about that. I know you like it.
Man, you know, I'm thinking I was going to get a chance to play. I ain't warm up so hard. If I'd have known I was going to play, I'd have probably got a little bit harder in warm-ups.
Now, last year, you broke out, had a phenomenal season. Think about this year and what you expect to do this year.
I expect to basically be in the same role as I was last year, possibly get more touches because they showed that I could get the ball up the field and stretch the defense out a little bit, but just basically contribute to the team and do the best I can.
Man, thanks for your time, Jerry. This is my guy, guys. I love him to death. He's definitely the primo receiver. Back to you guys.
Boy, can you imagine Jerry Porter in a situation where he was not in the shadow of Jerry Rice and Tim Brown? Now, you talk about a guy that has a future. Jerry Porter in his 4th year out of West Virginia. You talk about all the tools. He had a breakout year last season.
We're going to do it again.
Well, he did. He's literally like a starter, although Tim Brown and Jerry Rice are your definite starters. They go three wide receivers about 65% of the time. And Jerry Porter's right in there in the mix. He had 51 catches, a lot of big plays down the field, too.
I love the yards after catch for a Porter. Boy, he gets that football and he's dangerous. Bozier off his back foot. Gordon, first down. And he is upended there by Dorsett, but he does have the first down.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, Cooper put a lot of pressure on and hit him as he threw. Good pressure by Chris Cooper, though.
Getting up walking like it's week 13 already.
Boy, how about that 17-yard gain? Yeah, he's going to be sore tomorrow, no doubt about it. What a nice open field tackle by Anthony Dorsett as you see pressure coming.
It's interesting what Jerry Rice said about Jerry Porter. He says you can tell he's really ready to go. He's a young bull. He's feeling it now. He just wants to get out there and you know, Jerry Porter's really come into his own. Didn't really get along too well with Coach Gruden. Gruden used to get after him pretty good, and he feels relieved. I mean, one of the few players who've come out and say, you know, they didn't like being around John Gruden, and he used to talk to him about chilling, and I think that Gruden thought that meant that he was too laid back and he'd get after him. But Porter's really come into his own under Bill Callahan.
Yeah, you're right. He absolutely did have a tough time with John Gruden, as did some other players. And he wasn't afraid to speak out after, you know, John Gruden left. And he feels much more comfortable. Bill Callahan has really, you know, brought him up to the forefront, and he's rewarding the Raiders and Coach Callahan by performing out there.
And again, it's Gordon. Boy, Gordon's been a workhorse here in the first half for the St. Louis Rams. Anthony Dorsett again coming up to make the tackle along with Tim Johnson.
Well, because, you know, Gordon is not going to get a lot of playing time once the season starts because of Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk not dressing tonight for this football game.
Marshall Faulk, a certain Hall of Famer. I want to get back to that. We're sitting next to a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't want to embarrass him. But Jim Plunkett should be there. Another guy in this stadium. Two of them ought to be in that Hall of Fame. Hope the committee really looks at him. John Madden. And, of course, Tom Flores, who won 2 Super Bowls.
And it's Johnson. I agree with you there. I mean,
it's astonishing to me that the three of them, you really want to see these guys get looked at. Madden, 100 wins faster than any coach, a Super Bowl champion. He's only the most popular person in the history of professional football. Come on, guys. There's room for him. Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls, everything that he accomplished there. Coach Tom Flores, same 2 Super Bowls. You know, you don't want to deny anybody else who's got it in, and you don't want to say that they don't belong. But there should be absolutely inclusion for the 3 of these guys. And Ray Guy.
Well said. Now the swing pass near side, and Johnson on a shoestring tackle by Dorsett. Let's check into the sideline. George Atkinson.
Guys, with me, Gibson, Derek Gibson, #1 draft choice for the Raiders a few years back. So, man, you had one in your hand and you dropped it, man.
You know, I got to work on the jug machine next week, George.
Look, how's camp going for you, and what you expect this year? I mean, last year you had a few injuries. You have some playing this year. Wide open for you.
Well, you know, I just try to get in training camp, learn as much as I can, stay physical, as I do out here, and just try to just back myself every day.
Hey, man, thanks for your time. Good luck to you. Back to you, Grant.
All right, George. Edwards, top of the screen. 4 receivers set for St. Louis. Empty field. Bozier on a 3rd down. Picked off. Dorsett. Anthony Dorsett. Boy, what a defensive drive that was for Dorsett. Made several tackles. He picks it off, runs it back 15 yards, and it's Oakland football.
You know, the play prior to this one, he made the tackle on the back coming out of the backfield. Here, his experience puts him in the right place for the interception. And, you know, here's a guy who lost his starting job from a year ago.
Well, he was waived, and then he came back, took a major pay cut, and he wants to be here. That's the important thing. He said, you know, he understands the business, but he wants to be a Raider.
In the second quarter, you know, guys, there are guys who are fighting for jobs. Anthony Dorsett is one. And that last series, I'm pretty sure he impressed the coaches. He had a few open tackles that were crucial, and he came up with that big interception. And when you're playing like Anthony's playing here in this first half, he definitely will impress the coaches, and that struggle wouldn't be as hard as it would normally be. Back to you, Grant.
All right, George, the 2-minute drill now. The starting offensive line in for Oakland. And to follow up what Jim Gray was saying, I think well said. Dorsett quoted as saying, anybody that comes here looking to be a backup is cheating themselves. I came back here because he gave me the best chance at getting a Super Bowl ring. You can't be too prideful. You look at what you're trying to do and what the organization is trying to do. A good deal for them, and you can get something out of it you want. then you work out a deal. And you got to love that attitude.
You certainly do. And, you know, you got to admire him for wanting to, even though he's taking a pay cut, coming back to the Raiders, because this is where he wants to be.
Well, he tested the free agent market. He rejected Pittsburgh. He rejected Jacksonville. Turned down Houston. Kind of a lukewarm situation that he found out there, and he found it the best opportunity, even though he wasn't going to be making the dollars, was here with the Raiders, familiar with the system, knows that he was well liked here, played an awful lot, knows that Gibson was the #1 draft choice. Hard not to play your #1 draft choice. Comes back and continues to work hard. Knows football obviously very well. Raider football. Grew up in the family with Tony Dorsett, a Hall of Famer.
And he was on the team that lost to the Rams in that Super Bowl, 1 yard short. Dorsett, part of that defensive backfield of the Tennessee Titans. 1:46 left. The timeout charge to Oakland. It is a 2nd down and 8 from their own 17. Nice pass and catch by Doug Gabriel, the rookie out of Central Florida. Nice timing there. The move remains 1st down. Clock moving, 1:35, and it's out to the 32-yard line.
And this is what they've been working on a lot during training camp, the 2-minute offense, moving the ball down the field.
15-yard pickup. Pressure. Oh, nice job by Marcus. Tuiasosopo eluding, preventing the sack, and he moves forward close to the 40-yard line, and he gets up and calls the 2nd timeout.
A couple weeks ago, Mark Trestman compared him to the situation that Steve Young was in. Now, I know he wears the #8, but he said, you know, he's going to flourish. He's going to come on. It was really, really, you know, a comparison that Trestman made that really has to give Tuiasosopo an awful lot of confidence, Jim.
Oh, he certainly does. And, you know, as I said earlier, you know, it's hard to get a lot of playing time with the way Rich Gannon is playing. As we mentioned, an NFL MVP, but his time will come, and you know, hopefully it'll be here in the silver and black, but you never know what's going to happen.
Well, he's having to wait in line behind Rich Gannon. Steve Young had to wait in line behind Joe Montana. Rich Gannon, an MVP. You know, he's sitting there with his clipboard, charting it all, taking it all in. Father played down there at the 49ers, but each training camp and each time he gets an opportunity to play, it gets more and more easy for him to get into the flow of the game and to see what's happening out there on the field. Is there any substitute for experience, Jim?
No, none that I know of. No, you got to go out there and play.
All right, so it's a 2nd down. 4 yards to go. And again, pressure. Tuiasosopo. And he's got the 1st down.
In that regard, he's a lot like Rich Gannon. You know, he can find his receivers, but he can also run extremely well with the football, just as he did there, get enough yards for the 1st down on 3rd down.
He's a Tinoi Samoa, the rookie out of Hawaii, on the tackle. Under a minute left, 1st down. And the catch, Ronald Curry, and he has another Raiders 1st down. So great job by Tuiasosopo running a 2-minute offense, and he will call a timeout and stop the clock. Folks, be sure to stay with us at halftime, and we'll present a special look at the man.
He had an unfortunate fumble last year when he got into the game during the regular season, but he said he's learned a lot from him. His confidence is high, and he wants to continue to grow.
Great by the offensive line. Now a flag comes in. He was open. He did have time to throw the football, but then Bryce Fisher got in there, and I think we're going to have a holding penalty against the Raiders with 40 seconds left.
I think you're right, man.
Phelan, you just add to the drive, and you give the Raiders another opportunity.
You're right, man.
At the 35-yard line now. Andre Hill underneath. And Hill brought down at the 30.
But that showed me a lot of poise on Tuiasosopo's part, knowing exactly where his guy was going to be open because he had a lot of pressure on him early.
Tuiasosopo stops the clock. And so it will be 3rd down and 5. All right, 3rd down and 5. 24 seconds left. Ooh. And that ball is batted down, bringing up a 4th down. And we'll get a look at Janikowski, who will try to make it 10-0. Sebastian missing his first kick, although it was a long kick from 53 yards. And guys, again, he is going to be kicking off the dirt. The infield of the A's, and certainly more difficult than kicking off the grass.
Yeah, certainly is. Your footing, you get under the ball, you kind of put a lot more spin on it, which cuts down its distance. But he had 2 kicks from 51 yards last year.
With the win this time, Grant.
And no good.
Hits the goalpost.
Yep.
Hit the upright.
But he clocked it well. I mean, he got his foot into it, just pulled it a little bit.
So with 17 seconds, the Rams will take over, trailing 0-0.
But as we mentioned, that infield is very difficult to kick off of.
You're a head coach in preseason. Sebastian Janikowski's not one of them.
I agree.
It's one of the rare times you'll see a guy miss a field goal and the head coach has a little bit of a smile on his face,
right.
a bit of a
Read the formation, 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. The lone setback is Lamar Gordon. Now Bolger will tuck it and go. Oh, look at pursuit. Eric Johnson. Tremendous pursuit on Bolger.
Jim, why not just go down? Why risk a tackle? Why not just go down?
Well, because he's a competitor for one thing, and number two, I don't know what. I don't know why Mike Marks would call a play like that. Maybe you got one play left in the half. Your quarterback's already taken quite a few hits. Why do that to him?
So the Raiders with a 7-0 lead here at intermission. And certainly in that first half, they got to the quarterback open. And down behind the Raiders bench, George Atkinson with head coach Bill Callahan. George?
I'm here with Coach Bill Callahan. Coach, you got a 7-0 lead. Offense has been somewhat productive. Defense looks especially well. Talk about the overall play of the team.
I'm really proud of our defense, George, and like we've been talking about all week long, defense has been rallying to the ball, running to the ball, turning it over, and tackling. So I'm really pleased where we're at defensively and special teams wise. We got to get something going on offense. That's the storyline right now.
I know you want to get in your team. Thank you very much, Coach. Back to you, Grant.
All right, George, we have played 30 minutes of football here in Oakland, and the Raiders leading the Rams 7-0. And the kick is Leon Johnson. Make that 33 instead of 32. That's Arlen Harris. So O'Donnell, and again Harris is back deep. And at the 10-yard line, it's Harris. And he is brought down on the open field by Tony Lukens. So the Rams now, 1st and 10, trailing 7-0. And a penalty marker down. Again, the official is, the referee is Mike Carey.
Incidental face mask. 98 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down.
And we look at the first half stats. Raiders very impressive rushing yards, 72, although 50 of those by Madre Hill. Rams with 118-yard passing yards. Total yards fairly even. Only 2 penalties for the Raiders. I know Callahan is going to love that plunk.
Oh, he certainly will, although he's not going to like the only 57 yards passing. He said at the halftime that, one of the things they need to work on a little bit is their passing game.
Mark Bolger is going to stay in a quarterback here to start the third quarter. He's 10 of 13 for 100 yards. As the 4th-year man from West Virginia, operating with good field position from the Raider 37-yard line.
Great protection.
And now Bolger will just throw it away. Good coverage by the Raiders secondary as nobody was open. And it will be 2nd and 10 for the Rams.
Yeah, very good job. When the quarterback has that much time and he also rolls out of the pocket and still can't find anybody open, you know that secondary is doing a great job on those receivers.
And Chris Cooper, little Howie, number 75, gave him a good whack after the play, too. Hey, Jim, how long before Mark Bolger will get frustrated? How long before he'll start thinking, hey, I got to play, I want to play, it's time for me?
Oh, yeah, it could be right now, I spend this much time in a preseason game, I'm sure he's a little frustrated right now. Why isn't somebody else in there besides me? After what I did for you a year ago.
Leon Johnson, run out of bounds. David Moretti again. Boy, does he look good, the young man out of Oregon.
But Bolger said all the right things last year, and I believe he honestly felt those things when he was saying, Grant and Jim, this is Kurt Warner's team. He's the MVP. He took us to the Super Bowl. We were play short the 2nd time with him. He said all the right things, and I think he really believed and felt that way. He's a humble young man, and it is Warner's team. But at some point, he's going to say, hey, I can lead a team. If it's not going to be this one, guys, let me go somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. But it's going to be time whenever his contract is up and Warner's still getting paid a lot of money, they're going to have to make a decision. Can't keep them both.
Decide to keep them both this year.
And good tackle at the 42-yard line by Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson looking very good on defense for the Raiders here in this first preseason game.
Kind of a funny thing when you look at the path that these two teams have taken. Both left Los Angeles in 1995. We saw a little bit of it at halftime here. They go to a full stadium in St. Louis, get a beautiful indoor dome to play, and it's sold out. Tickets are going crazy. The fans are happy to have football back in St. Louis. Raiders come here, and we see here tonight the team that's won 3 straight Western divisions. They're conference champions. I recognize it's preseason, but this stadium's, you know, 2/3 empty, or at least half empty.
Willie Quinney from Landetta's foot. Landetta in his 19th year, and Quinney to the 23-yard line. And that will stop the play with 13:26 left, third quarter, with the Raiders leading the Rams 7-0. Jerry Porter, you heard him telling George Atkinson he only was in for 2 plays, but he managed to get the football, not the way he wanted, as he and the veteran superstar Jerry Rice having a good time on the sideline. And in a quarterback now for the Oakland Raiders.
Is he kissing that football? Whispering to that football? What is he doing there?
Jerry talks. I think Jerry talks in his sleep. He's always talking.
Not since Frank the Golf cover of Tiger Woods has there been a prop like that. Is the football talking back to you?
Rick Meyer, the 11th.
You never know with some of these players.
And the first play for Meyer on the ground. Justin Vargas, the rookie out of USC.
He keeps doing that with that football. He may get a Frank type of Nike deal, talking to the football. The football's going to start talking back.
I'll tell you, he is a tremendous athlete. Very good basketball player. He loves talking and playing hoops. As you look at the rookie Vargas, the 3rd-round pick, actually started his collegiate career in Michigan and then transferred to Southern Cal. Meyer looking at him through the hands of Doug Gabriel. That was a tough pass to catch, a bullet from Meyer.
It certainly was, on the quick slant. Pretty hard to handle, a little high with people on him. A lot of changes besides Myra and Vargas in there, and Doug Gabriel. The offensive line is the other unit, not the starters, with Langston and some of the other players in there now. Stinchcomb, it's that center, which is new this year. Been playing tackle and guard, so this is something that the Raiders are trying to see how he does.
12:50 left, third quarter on a 3rd down and 11. Underneath, Teo Johnson. Let's move. Look at Johnson. And the rookie out of Stanford still on his feet. Oh, boy. You are going to absolutely love Teo Johnson. And he impressed on that play.
He certainly did, and that's a lot like Doug Jolly. Makes a short catch, turns it into a long gainer, makes people miss, breaks tackles. And down the field, he gets a great block here on the sideline right there by Ronald Curry. And his head down and bangs into the defenders. I mean, he wasn't running out of bounds.
Well, you got to love a wide receiver, guys. Curry not giving up on the play. Look at that. Just a tremendous block by Curry. So good field position. And on the near side, it's Vargas.
We talked before the game about Teo Johnson. Coach Callahan had a chance, and he said he's done everything so well. He's just excellent at everything. And Teo himself has said during training camp that he feels like he's an extra in a movie when he goes into the locker room. He feels so fortunate to be standing next to Tim Brown and Jerry Rice and Rich Gannon, like he almost doesn't belong. And when he makes a mistake, the important thing is he's got the exact right attitude, because when something goes wrong and they point it out to him, he says, "Thank you, Mr. Rice. Thank you, Mr. Brown." And so it's he's coming along great. I mean, he's got a wonderful attitude and obviously a good game.
And Vargas breaks the tackle. Has the seam. First down, Oakland.
I think that's Justin Vargas, something special. The play before, he actually outran his blockers and found a little seam, picked up 5 yards, and right there, he was almost tackled in the backfield by the defender, yet he ran away from him with his speed, turns it upfield, sees where the blocks are, and goes around it. This guy is really a player, and he didn't really start shining at USC till the second half of the season. Nobody really knew how good the guy was till the latter half of the season at SC.
My imagination, or that move right there, looked a little like Marcus Allen.
No, I think you're exactly right, boy. And speaking of Allen, that right there is another great run by Vargas. Dewan Gross. As I'll tell you, they're getting some good blocking up front. Very blocking up front. Prior to that, boy, we saw a tremendous block from Chad Slaughter. They're working the left side, aren't they?
And that's a third straight carry by Vargas there, and every one has been positive yards. 2 for over 10 yards and 1 for 5 yards, but he seems to know where the holes are. He makes quick judgments. He seems to cut back, just as Jim mentioned, a lot like Marcus Allen.
In the second quarter is the Montre Hill show, and in the third quarter it's Justin Fargas. Wow. And Fargas inside the 20, and he crashes down near the 17-yard line. Bryce Fisher on the tackle for the St. Louis Rams. We're in the third quarter, and it's 7-0 Raiders.
Of course, the game being seen on KCBS. And Justin Fargas played his high school football at Notre Dame, the San Fernando Valley, Sherman Oaks, California. And all the fans then were able to follow him when he came back and played at USC. So continuation, they'll be able to follow him. A lot of Raider fans still down in Los Angeles. His father, a big Hollywood star. He gets another run. It's become the Justin Fargas drive.
Yes,
here, Grant.
And he has the first out inside the 10. And so to move the chains to make it 1st and goal. Very impressive drive by Justin Fargas.
You know, and this offensive line by the Raiders is pretty darn good with Stinchcomb and Langston Walker. You know, they're very experienced up there. Brad Badger's playing right now. And so, you know, this is not an offensive line with no experience. They're very experienced players up there.
All right, in motion is Ronald Curry. Fargas. And tackled from behind. As making the stop was Kim Herring, the veteran out of Penn State. 106 tackles for the Rams a season ago.
Of course, his dad, everybody remembers, Starsky and Hutch. Great television show, Huggy Bear.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, Justin Fargas' father. I'm sure Huggy Bear's tuning in tonight. He's not here in the stadium. Watching his son, he's got to be awfully proud.
All right, this time Ronald Curry comes wide left. And up top is Gabriel as we look at Fargas there on a 2nd and goal. Good block. Fargas. Oh, and he fumbled. Trying a little extra effort. And it is recovered by Cortland Bullard. I mean, you got to love the effort, but he's got to hold on to the football.
Absolutely, but he's a young guy, and he's trying to show the coaches what he's got. Yeah, tremendous effort. Plus, if you watch him run, watch him follow his blockers. This is a lot like Marcus. There he goes. He stops. He stutters. He knows where his blockers are, and he's just trying very hard to get in the end zone. I'm sure he wanted to score his first NFL touchdown. You know, just a bad break there.
Well, I'll tell you, what an effort by Fargas, and 1 yard short of carrying it into the end zone, and now the officials are huddling about where that football will be spotted.
Looked like he tried
to play and recovered by the Rams in the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, it's a touchback.
First down.
Say it was in the end zone. The ball was recovered.
Looked like he tried to extend his arm, but he was about a yard or two short from the extension, so he put his arm around the defender's helmet. Got to keep the ball close when you're that far away from the goal line.
Been saying, hey, that's the way to run, young man.
They did a tremendous job. I think he showed a lot. He did a lot of different things. Showed speed, showed his cutback ability, showed how he can follow his blockers. That's everything you want from a running back.
And he ran both left and the middle, and he did it all. He went to all sides of the field. All right, Bozier, as the Raider fans make some noise. It's 7-0, third quarter action, 8:35. And around the left side, a big hole. And that's going to be close to a first down. Let's get to the sideline. Thanks, George Atkinson.
Guys, I have with me John Perella, came over last year from the Chargers, established himself as a leader on this team. And talk about the difference between last year and what you see this year.
No, I think it's a team that's hungry. You know, we went to the Super Bowl, obviously, and didn't play our best game. I think I know it's a team that wants to get back, establish ourselves as you know, the dominant team in the AFC, and prove a point to the league that we can do it again.
Thanks for your time, man. Back to you, Grant.
All right, George, appreciate it. And as we saw John Perella early in the game on the end around, and trying to get outside is McDonald. And great pursuit by the Raider defense. Outstanding job, as the first man to really make him run outside was Brock Williams. Williams does not get credit for that tackle, but Williams made that play.
He certainly did. He stretched it out, got good penetration across the line of scrimmage. Doesn't look like anybody was fooled too much. And here you see him making him go even wider, so number 98 could come in and make the tackle.
Joining us here in the broadcast booth, Bruce Allen from the Raiders front office does a marvelous job, and he's going to talk to us. We'll get to it right after this play. As Mark Bozier on a 2nd and 10, and again the fans really showing their enthusiasm here in the third quarter. Good. Raiders defense with another sack. They have been in the backfield. David Moretti, we have mentioned his name a lot tonight, guys. He has been all over the field.
He certainly has. You know, he's fighting for a job on this football team, and he's showing a lot of good things. Great penetration, great sack by Dave Moretti.
Bruce, I know you got to be happy when you see the young players, and Moretti is really having himself a nice game.
Tyler Brayton.
He sure is.
Good things from some
Justin
of the young guys.
Fargas. A lot of our young guys are doing well. Tyler Brayton really did what we wanted him to do in his first start.
Down and long. They have to get to the 40-yard line. Again off his back foot. And the Raiders defense with an outstanding series right there.
Bruce, what would be the assessment of what you've seen so far here in the first, whatever we're at, 6:54 left in the third quarter, the first preseason game?
Well, we're excited, first of all, that everyone stayed healthy, and we're getting the young guys a lot of plays, and I think that's going to be valuable for our evaluating of these players. And these young receivers are really been putting on a show, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does on punt returns, and we have some openings that these guys are fighting for.
And Sean Landetta, the 19th year punter. The Raiders on top 7-0. Look forward. And they will have excellent field position when we come back. Third quarter. And there's a penalty marker down, so we'll wait for that call. But good field position at the moment, close to midfield, and we'll see what the crew down there has to say.
Bruce, when the first team was out there, we saw some excellent things defensively
During
and
the
offensively.
return,
Mike
holding
Terry.
on the offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down. Timeout.
So there is a timeout on the field. Raiders football when we come back. 7-0 Oakland here from the net.
Let's put woman and man together to find out which one is smarter. Some say men, but I say no. The women play their men like a puppet show.
Cold filter what you don't need. Keep what's good. MGD.
Quarter with 6:44 left. And again, joining us up here in the broadcast booth, Bruce Allen. And Bruce, we talk so much about the young players, and the fans are getting a chance to see the Braytons and the Teo Johnsons and the Fargases for the first time, and they have not disappointed.
No, they haven't, and I think that's the coaches have done a very good job of preparing them. T. Martin has looked good. He's now in the quarterback, and we think he's going to add something to our offense as well.
I know they have talked very highly about T. Martin, but is he in a battle with Rick Myra for that third spot?
He's in a battle, and as you know, Jim, we have to be prepared in case somebody gets injured during training camp. And T has been in our offseason program. He's picked up the offense very well. And like you were, he's a real quarterback.
Yeah, thank you very much. But today, these kids come in so prepared, unlike when I was playing. The first time I saw a playbook was when I got to camp, and now these guys, as soon as they're drafted, they're put into a program of film study and game plans and playbooks.
Well, you're right, Jim, and especially with our offense. This isn't an easy offense to learn.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons Rich Gannon's been growing in it and has gotten better and better each year he's been here.
How fine is the line between being a star and being successful? I mean, this guy won a championship in 1998 with Tennessee. Peyton Manning didn't. He's the star, and T's struggling to find a team in the place.
Well, you have a great point. In Knoxville, he's a hero.
That's right.
And they love him in Knoxville. Here in the NFL, obviously, people have already forgotten about our great success last year, and it's what have you done for us lately. So he'll find the right place because he's a hard-working young man, and I think he does have a future in this league. And Rich Gannon, it took him 14 years to find a starting job and a team fit for him. And it worked with Mr. Plunkett here. It took him 2 teams to find out to come here and have a Hall of Fame type of career.
Boy, you talk about T. Martin. He only lost 2 games in his entire college career at Tennessee, and operating the Raiders offense 7-0 with 5:26 left here, third quarter. We spent a good portion at halftime talking about the trial up in Sacramento, and we try to cover it as well as we could, looking at both sides. Obviously very anxious to wait for the jury to come out of deliberation, I would imagine.
Well, it's an important case for our future. You know, as you can see, this isn't what the taxpayers or our fans were promised. It's not what the Raiders were promised. And the economic of the case is we need to sign players like Charles Woodson to an extension. We have to sign Eric Barton to an extension. And it's unfair to our fans and the team that we're in this situation. But hopefully this can be rectified and we can have a great future.
How does winning, and we'll wait till after this play to finish the question with the answer, how does winning that trial rectify this sin?
And again, look at this. Hill, and he falls across midfield. Mondre Hill and Fargas have really been huge running the football for the Raiders. Bruce?
Well, the economics of this trial is really because of the handcuffs that are on this organization from the original lease, which was supposed to have been sold out. All the luxury suites are sold out. The city and the county are in charge of our marketing. We don't market our tickets, and they have refused to fund it. So if we can unleash the potential for our fans in the East Bay area to grow our fan base here and allow them to come in without the extra surcharges, we can reward our players.
You know, Bruce, isn't it true? And I don't think a lot of people understand that you need a full stadium and you need those luxury suites sold in order to compete in the open market for players that you need here in Oakland.
Well, let's take our division. The Denver Broncos will make $85 million more than we will this year. The Kansas City Chiefs are nearly $50 million more than we are. That's why we have to get the handcuffs off, put the people in the seats, put them in the suites like they were promised that they would be.
And to pay the big salaries of Jim Plunkett and Jim Gray for doing these games.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's ridiculous to me, and I do not live here in Oakland. I live down in Los Angeles. But it's ridiculous to me that there is such a surcharge put on to the fans who want to come to the game. If you wanted to buy a $25, and I don't know your ticket ranges, but if you wanted to buy a $30 ticket, you're slapped with a $28 fee. You're doubling the price of your ticket, and that doesn't go to the Raiders just because the Oakland government and the city officials tack that on. That's farcical. That's ridiculous.
Well, Jim, as you know, I'm not for extra taxes in any way, and the issues with that, it's the NFL. That's one of the reasons the NFL needs for us to win this suit, because that money should go to the visiting team. They're not getting the money. We're not getting the money, and it's going to lawyers that are suing us.
We'll come back. We'll talk more here up in the booth with Bruce Allen as the Raiders on top 7-0 late third quarter. And, joined by Bruce Allen, 3:44 left third quarter, with the Raiders leading 7-0. Boy, it's a good thing Jerry Porter doesn't get paid by the word, huh, guys? That guy just loves to talk, and he's got a future when he gets done playing someday in this business, because he is always having a good time and always running the motor.
Well, he's been a fun guy for everybody on the team, and when you have to line up next to Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, you better come out of your shell, or you'll be unrecognized in public.
New quarterback, as it's Greg Zolman. And a big hole, and it's Lamar Gordon. And he breaks out across the 40 to 45. Actually, it's Arlen Harris, 33, not 34. Harris, the rookie out of Virginia, and he got outside. 29-yard pickup for Harris.
It was a good cutback, big hole in the backside of the play. Some of the defenders overran, and he was able to cut back and pick up big yardage. Good vision on Harris's part.
So a first down, just shy of midfield with 3:25 left third quarter. Zolman, the second-year man out of Vanderbilt, 6'2", 220. And Harris into Raider territory down to the 46-yard line. One thing about this Raiders team, Bruce, and we've talked a lot about it, but last year the AFC Championship, and you have pretty much the nucleus back, and I would think that everybody associated with this organization has got to be sky high. Obviously, you got to stay healthy, but boy, does this year look very bright.
Well, Grant, you know, watching the Raiders, and we're very proud of the great history we have as a franchise, but this team right now is going to go down as one of the most historically famous teams. Every time Jerry Rice touches a ball, we break 4 NFL records. Woodson, instant Hall of Famer. Timmy Brown just having a fantastic career. He's a Hall of Famer. Rich Gannon. So it's an exciting mix of players. And we got about a third of our players who are veterans, experienced, and a third of our players are under 4 years of experience, and the rest is in the middle. So we think we have a great blend.
Third down and short. Zolman. And underneath incomplete. Bring it up a fourth and short for Marks and the Rams.
Bruce, you're going to be a broadcaster. You're going to stay with us for the rest of the preseason, maybe into the season?
Well, let me tell you, I'm going to go back into the coaching booth and watch the evaluations we're doing. And I want you to make a point of number 18 is Calvin Branch.
Right.
And this offseason, he was a scout for us. That shows you we have the best conditioned scouts in the NFL.
That's great. Bruce, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right, Raiders will get the football with under 2 minutes left in the third. And flag comes flying. Fair catch at the 21-yard line. But again, penalty marker is down. Willie Quinney signaling the fair catch.
You know, one of the things that goes on, you know, during the preseason, and you're trying to evaluate all your talent, your players, and people at different positions. And as Bruce mentioned off mic, was that
There's an
you know, these
number
coaches.
downfield, number 37 by the kicking team. Penalty is declined. First down.
Well, every once in a while, you know, I get together with old teammates and we talk about how great we used to be and all that stuff. Of course, we but that's part of it.
Vargas again showing some nice moves out across the 30 to the 31. A pickup of 9. Randy Garner out of Arkansas on the tackle.
It's so hard in professional sports to win, and everybody's trying. Does that accomplishment grow in your mind as the years go on? How did we ever do that? How did we get that far and win?
Especially that 1980 team. We would start out 2-3, struggling. I wasn't even until the 6th game. Then we went on a tear, and you know, everything fell into place. You could almost do no wrong offensively, and me as a quarterback, and defensively, our team from giving up 26 point something points a game to like 12 points a game in the second half of the season. Things just gelled and came together. But you're right, you know, floundering around for 10 years, 5 at New England, 2 at San Francisco, 2 behind Kenny Stabler. I didn't know if I was ever going to play again, and all of a sudden to get back on the field and help lead that team to that Super Bowl in 1981 was just one of my fondest moments ever. Even though we won in '84, it was nothing like that '81 victory.
How about Vargas averaging nearly 5 yards per carry? He has just been something. Leckler with the kick, and it is taken by DeJuan Gross. Gross was a specialist in college in returns, and this time he's hemmed in. He gets out to the 42-yard line. DeJuan Gross out of Nebraska, first team All-American as a return specialist, but not this time.
Is it tougher today, Jim? Is it even more competitive and harder, or is that not diminished, or has that been the same for all time?
I think it's always the same. It's always hard to win, be consistent, win year after year. I think it's a little bit harder now today because of free agency, people leaving and coming all the time. You have to have those front offices sharp and knowing who they're going to lose and who they can pick up to fill that void.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Touchdown in the second quarter. Madre Hill following up a 50-yard run with a 1-yard carry.
Porter gave up the football to Gibson there, so
that's
going to let Gibson talk to it. That's right, for a little while now.
Greg Zolman, 3rd and long, and a little delay to Harris. And Harris is stopped about 4 yards short near midfield. Eric Johnson on the tackle. We called out his name a lot.
Oh, yes. That was your typical shovel pass, get the ends to rush upfield, 3rd and long. When you hit it, sometimes you hit it pretty big, and that was a pretty good gainer, but not enough to get the first down.
Guys, we talked about the Rams' disappointing season a year ago. You look at the AFC West, and it's arguably the toughest division in football. You look at Jake Plummer going to Denver. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Kansas City with a loaded offense, and David Boston ends up in San Diego. This is going to be some dogfight out here in the West. But the Raiders at least look like they've got the best talent, but it is one tough division.
Nice move.
Excellent move. And down at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will take over. That is a 16-yard gain by Charles Pauley. We'll come back. Raiders football leading 7-0 here in the fourth. And again, it's Vargas. This time tackled for a gain of 1. Let's get to the sideline and George Atkinson. George?
Guys, I have with me future Hall of Famer and the man. Oakland Raiders, been around for 16 years, man. Unbelievable. I was just talking to Timmy. We were on the bus in Barcelona. It seemed like it was yesterday, man. What's your secret, man?
Hey, man, good living. You know, try to stay out of trouble and, you know, take care of yourself in the offseason. And, you know, the football part is the easy part of it.
You know, it appears that this team has improved with guys like Teo Johnson and Vargas. Talk about those guys, and what do you see in these guys, and how can they help the team?
You know, these guys are guys who can make plays for us. And our offense, you know, we got 5 or 6 guys who can make plays. You get 2 more guys who can make plays. When we line up everybody, people don't know what to do, and it makes them play us vanilla, and we can just pick them apart.
You know, the defense also, I know you work against these guys every day. Talk about the improvement of this defense, because there was some discussion during the offseason that was one of the concerns, especially defensive line. What can the fans look for out of the line this year?
Well, I think we saw tonight, you know, and obviously tonight's just a preseason game, but still, these guys are going to play a lot better. Stubblefield is going to make a difference. The first-round pick, Tyler Drayton, is going to make a huge difference for us. And the key is just keeping everybody healthy. If we can do that, we're going to be fine.
Back to the Super Bowl this year?
Yes, sir. Back there and win it. That's the goal this year.
What it's about. Timmy Brown, future Hall of Famer, guys, back to you.
18-yard pickup, T. Martin and Ronald Curry, and they come out of the huddle in a hurry. It's first down, 10 at their own 47-yard line. With a play action for Martin. Good protection. Looking long. Intended for John Stone. Incomplete. Make it 7-10.
But, you know, Timmy Brown's right. You know, the amount of playmakers this team has at any given time on the football field, the multiple formations, the motions, it's very difficult to play these guys straight up. So you tend to play your basic defense, as Timmy Brown says, vanilla, and hope for the best sometimes.
Fourth quarter action.
Rod Woodson.
Boy, absolutely. I mean, everywhere you look at Hall of Famers in the silver and black. Now Vargas steps up from his halfback position. Near side, incomplete. Pass intended for Ryan Prince.
What a collection it was. We keep talking about it, but all the people that were there at the Hall of Fame, it was just incredible. Don Shula, Joe Green, Franco Harris, of course, all the old Raiders, Mike Haynes, Hendricks, Deacon Jones, Leroy Kelly, Ronnie Lott, Joe Namath, Merlin Olsen. All of the old Rams were there. You know, Star, of course, Roger Staubach. I mean, it was just an amazing thing. And Al Davis, and how all the people and all the players come up to Al and have such tremendous respect for his accomplishments. And Bill Walsh, the great Bill Walsh, was with us there.
Martin, and very good at running. This time stopped short. He's to the 45-yard line of the Rams. Jamie Duncan from his linebacker position. 98 tackles a year ago on the stop, and we'll get a look at Shane Leckler.
Big weekend for Jim Otto, too. He was there, of course, to see Marcus Allen. Great the way that Marcus went in. We talked about it a little bit. I think we're going to see down the line here Marcus Allen back in Oakland Stadium. I think we're going to have some sort of a reconciliation. He's extending himself. Thanked Al Davis. And that time may come. That'll be a happy moment for the fans.
And a long throw. No catch. And great coverage. Great coverage down there by Doug Gabriel. Timeout on the field. Fourth quarter, Raiders hanging on to a 7-0 lead.
As any stadium is completely full, believe me.
Well, we got some good news, folks. We're going to hear from John Madden, the great John Madden, ABC's Monday Night Football, former Raider coach, world champion, Super Bowl champion. He's coming into our booth right now. Always good to see Coach Madden here. Jim, walking in.
And now it's Kirk Farmer in a quarterback, and incomplete double coverage on the outside. Yeah, it is great to see John Madden, and in a moment we'll put a headset on. Kirk Farmer, the rookie out of Missouri, going for the home run ball, but a good coverage by the Raiders.
Madden, good to see you. How are you? Coach Madden up here with his Pebble Beach golf links. Catcher's hat on now. The great John Madden joining us. We talked about him considerably here in the half. He needs it on the other side. Coach Madden speaks out of the right side of his mouth, not the left.
That's right. We'll get it on.
There you are, Coach. Good to have you up here, Madden. How are you?
Good. It's nice to be here and finally get the headset on.
5 flags on the play.
Everybody knows Coach Madden. There he is. Got the hat on backwards, the whole deal, huh, Coach?
Well, I had to put the hat on backwards to get this thing on the right side. And, you have some
5 yards.
combobulations.
I heard you on the radio today coming over to the stadium, and you were talking about Jack Madden, your grandson, and what are his thoughts? I know he's here at the game tonight. He's coming already?
No. Jack didn't come tonight because he got a cousin tonight. In fact, my son Joe, his wife Wendy had a baby this afternoon, so I got a new grandson.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you in Virginia and to Joe and his wife. Everybody well?
Thank you. Yeah, everyone's well. Everything is going well.
Well, again, the noise from the end zone, and that's going to be first down yardage. Now, a nice pass from Farmer, and that gets the ball out to the 27-yard line.
The Mishbook is growing, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we had, like 2 years ago, we had none. And now we have 4 grandkids, 4 grandsons. Yeah, we get one more. We have an offensive line, Jim.
That's right. Always thinking ahead. I like that.
Right.
20-yard pickup as the ball's out to the 27-yard line.
What do you make of what you see of this Raider team so far, John?
Nothing. I mean, I think it's exactly what it is. It's just a preseason game, and if you try and make anything more than that of it, that's a mistake.
We were talking a lot, John, in the first quarter about Warner and the fact that obviously he did not have a good year. He had a lot of injuries. Mark Bolzer came in and played so well. We were talking about if Warner would get off to a slow start in September, would that develop into a big quarterback controversy in St. Louis?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's something that, when you don't have a guy behind him, then you just live with the quarterback. You live with Kurt Warner, and then when you're not sure about his health, plus the guy behind him can do the job, I think that Mike Martz would have a little quicker trigger than he would normally, and Kurt Warner has to again prove that he's back.
I felt watching him tonight that he played with lack of confidence, the same way he played a year ago.
But there's nothing uglier than a timing pass offense that's timing is off. That's what I was watching, this Ram pass offense tonight, and and I think the word for it is just downright ugly because they throw before the guy gets open, they throw to windows, they do all those things, and none of the timing was there that they need for their passing game.
If the All-Madden team was one game, Tyler Brayton, #1 pick, would he be on it?
Yeah, he'd be on it. But how about that other guy? You had some tough things here, didn't you, when Tuiasa Sopo was being tackled by Timmy Alasolo? That happened a lot today, didn't it?
Unfortunately, it did.
But we leave that to Grant.
That's exactly right. But
that's his job.
Look at this defensive play, and talk about going through the hole in a hurry as you look away from the play, a little extracurricular activity, but that's a loss all the way back to the 38-yard line. John, bottom line is this Raiders team is still unbelievably talented. You got to look at some of the new faces. Still the team to beat in the AFC?
Yeah, I think so. And, I don't know what team would be close to them. I mean, I think the Raiders are not only the best team, but I think you would have a tough time finding right now who that #2 team is.
Boy, how about Akbar Baja Biamila? Of course, in camp, they just call him AGB. His brother plays for the Green Bay Packers, and it's Kabir, and they call him KGB. We'll talk about that. We'll come back with John Madden with the Raiders on top 7-0. 7-0 Raiders. Special guest John Madden up here in the booth at the net. And we talk about the Raiders being the team to beat. Obviously, it starts at the quarterback position with Rich, who was unbelievable last year.
And I think I remember we saw him in a Monday night game against Denver when he was not only unbelievable, he was perfectly unbelievable. And you just want to take one of those games, I think, and bottle it.
John, is it as easy to define in the NFC? Who do you think the team to beat is over there?
I kind of believe that you have to go with the team that won it last year. You have to go with Tampa Bay.
And a nice run by Arlen Harris. Harris gets to the marker about a half-yard short.
And you'll see them next week on Monday Night Football against these Rams, right? You and Al Michaels.
Yeah, so that's one of the advantages that I have here is coming here and able to see the Raiders, but then watch them against the Rams, and that's the game we're doing next Monday night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Rams, and I think the Rams would have a shot if they play like they did a couple years ago. I like Philadelphia. If you say, if it's not Tampa Bay, who do you like? I still like Philadelphia.
With or without Deuce Staley?
They'll be with Deuce Staley. They're not going to do anything stupid, and he's not going to do anything stupid.
How about the loss of Hugh Douglas there?
That's going to be big. That's going to be a tough one to replace. I mean, the guy they have replacing him isn't a Hugh Douglas, so that really affects a lot of things. Now you don't have to slide over that way, and you can pay more attention to free safety Dawkins and those I mean, it's going to help your pass protection against the Eagles. Makes any sense.
What about, you haven't coached a team for 25 years now, and what about all these changes, the substitutions, that go on constantly, the multiple formations? Yeah. What do you think about those changes to the game of football?
I can handle that. I mean, I like the substitutions and situation substitutions and those types of things. The thing that I couldn't handle is free agency. I mean, I could coach everything that has happened. I could still coach today, other than have players that I really want and I can't keep for one reason or another.
Coach, I know you were at the Hall of Fame. We saw that rain come down the other night. We were talking earlier, and I can say it, I'm sure you won't. We'll get past it. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. It's long overdue. You're the most popular figure in the history of professional football. You won 100 games faster. Jim Plunkett deserves it. The man next to us, Tom Flores, does. Having said that, your thoughts now on Hank Stram, an old competitor of yours who became a friend.
Yeah, and it was great to see Hank in there. I mean, his health is. You could see that, and if it were to happen, you just wished it would have happened a few years earlier when he really could have enjoyed it.
1st and 10 as the Rams trying to get into the end zone, incomplete. And it'll bring up a second down for St. Louis. Richard Angelo, the intended receiver.
What's it like to come back to Raider games? I know you try during the season when you're not broadcasting, but what's it like to come back?
I always stand here or just look down at the sideline and just remember, when I was down there on that sideline, and Kenny Stabler and George Blanda and Ted Hendricks and Willie Brown and Gene Upshaw, and the sideline was full of those guys, and party at time you can look down there and still see those guys.
And Harris spins inside the 10. Down to the 9.
Do you think about those times often?
That's kind of scary, isn't it? Well, that got really weird. I knew it was weird. I didn't know it was that doggone weird.
But, there are so few older stadiums like this left here in San Francisco. Other than that, there aren't too many real old stadiums around.
No, I mean, that's one thing that we don't have in football. And I think in the NFL, we probably had 2 of them, and that was Green Bay and Chicago. And if there is going to be a shrine to pro football, it ought to be Green Bay.
All right, timeout. We'll continue here from Oakland with the Raiders on top, 7-0. Again, making some noise. Kirk Farmer, the rookie quarterback out of Missouri. Harris, the lone setback. In motion is Cleveland. Touchdown. Cameron Cleveland in his 7th year out of Washington. And we're an extra point away from tying the game at 7.
What do you make of overtime in preseason, John?
I was just going to say, this is starting to smell like overtime, isn't it?
Just what everyone wants, huh?
But this play makes it for Kirk here. A lot of time, able to find a receiver that's open, gets him the ball right on the money. It's the way it's drawn up. There's not enough pressure on him.
Wilkins will try to tie the game at 7. Oh, blocked! So maybe we won't have overtime. It's 7-6.
Heavy sigh. Collectively in the booth.
We love that, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
The smell of overtime just went away, didn't it?
Smelling a lot better.
John, listen, we really appreciate you coming up and spending a few minutes minutes with us.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it, and it's great to be back and great to see you all. Thank you.
John, congratulations on the grandchild, number 4. Wish Joe and the family well.
One more, and we have an offensive line. That's what we're working towards.
Sharon Pearson. Block. Thanks,
good
John.
seeing you, John.
You can watch John all year, of course, on Monday Night Football, ABC, with Al Michaels, and we will be.
Well, guys, how about that? Pearson fighting there, and we saw the replay of the blocked extra point. And at 7-6 with 6:13 now left here in the ball game.
And I know they did that for us.
That's right.
They're very considerate.
Well, the reality is, it is, as John said, it's preseason. Everybody loves to see the young players, but I don't think the coaches want to see the game go in overtime.
Well, I don't know about that. Some of them do because they get a chance to see their players even more, get a longer look at them. Maybe a few, either the whole 15 minutes or a few series at least, get in some players that they couldn't get in earlier. You never know what coaches are thinking nowadays.
Interesting when he said, "What do you make of this?" Nothing.
Well, yeah.
Now, if he'd have been a coach standing down there, John, I wonder what he would have thought.
He'd be up and down that sideline.
He'd be looking at it probably, as a coach would if who the players are going to make the team. But from an overall perspective, he's exactly right. Doesn't mean anything. It's going to go on. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Some guys' jobs will be enhanced with chances of making the team. Others will
mishandled by the next week. Paulie, and there'll be a touchback. Let's check in with George Atkinson. What do you got going on, George?
Well, guys, whether it's the East or the West Side Club, you have to try watching a Raider game from a luxury suite. Once you do, man, you'll be hooked. You get single game or annual suites. Entertain clients to bring your entire family to enjoy a Raider game. There's gourmet food for you, but most of all, it's a memorable way to watch Raider football. Believe me. Back to you guys.
All right, George.
That's how George always watches the game, in a suite.
Yeah, well, George is big time.
He is.
That's where he belongs.
We just pile into your suite. That's what we all do.
All right, first down at the 20. And a short gain with nearly 6 minutes left. Rodney Jenkins on the carry.
You know what's great about this Raider organization is that all the guys really do feel comfortable about coming back. Coach Madden, go down and talk to Bill Callahan and the current coaching staff, or go over to practice, or whether it's Ted Hendricks and what he's doing now, delivering the rings to all the players.
How classy is that?
Oh, that's one of the great things ever, and I know you're going to get into it.
I mean, you talk about the epitome of a franchise in class, and why players, even the older players, the John Perellas, the Bill Romanowskis, as you look at a nice game, close to the first down. But for the players that are not here anymore, that are playing on other teams, Al Davis, the franchise has had former Raider greats going to other training camps and personally handing out the rings. That's
Sam
amazing.
Adams and Darian Gordon, some of the people who are no longer with the team this year.
Not only that, Mr. Davis hires so many of his former players to be part of the organization, either in the front office, in the PR department, scouting. You're always welcome here back with the Oakland Raiders.
Well, they say loyalty's gone in pro sports, but not with this franchise. And here's Martin, and incomplete. Willie Quinney, the rookie out of UAB, the intended receiver. And that will make it second down and 10. There's Romo.
It's just great to see these guys down on the sidelines. Other teams do it to a degree, but it's nothing quite like this.
Can you imagine, you talk about Romo in the NFL and everything that goes on in the physical nature, and here's a guy that's played in 240 consecutive games. I mean, that's remarkable.
Especially at the linebacker position, for heaven's sake.
Absolutely.
Very tough.
Now Fargus
did a nice job too on ESPN's draft coverage.
That's absolutely very nice. Opinionated, not afraid to speak his mind. Did a nice job.
Might want to be a coach. Might want to stay in football. Certainly could go into broadcasting. Very good on that.
Clock moving with now 4 minutes 35 seconds left for it. Raiders with a 1-point lead. Now it's 3rd and 9.
But this is another situation where you want to see if the Raider offense can keep that ball away from the St. Louis defense and not give them another chance to win the ball game.
Now Martin. And Martin is going to be stopped short of the first down. And Oakland will punt it away. Jeremy Statt from Arizona State making the stop. Shane Leckler will come back onto the field to punt it away. Clock moving with 4 minutes.
You want to win the game, and from what we can tell up here, Jim, looks like nobody's gotten hurt. We haven't seen the trainers come out. also a promising rookie performance as we take a look at that graphic. Vargas came in 73 yards. Teo Johnson, Tyler Braden's been all over the field. All Madden performer tonight. Based on his first game in the preseason. He'll be happy to hear that on the tape.
Boy, what a punt. Gross backed up to his 8. And the Raiders do a marvelous job.
Broke about 9 tackles and lost 3 yards.
Well, be sure to be with us for our next preseason telecast 2 weeks from tonight, August 22nd, as the defending AFC champion Oakland Raiders host Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss, and the Minnesota Vikings. Coverage begins at 6 right here on your Raiders preseason football television network.
We're going to do it again. We're going to go all the way.
A return of Raiders will play next against the 49ers in a nationally televised game.
And next Thursday, the 14th of August.
Teo Johnson, we've talked so much about the promise of the first-year player from Stanford, wide receiver in college, making the adjustment to tight end, and if tonight is an indication, he's well on his way to making that adjustment. Farmer looking long, and a first down to the 34-yard line. Branch on the stop. Coleman, the receiver, 22-yard pickup. Farmer to Coleman.
Farmer looks pretty confident standing back there, doesn't he, Jim?
Yeah, he does. I think he's done a very good job. I think better than Zolman did earlier.
So it's a first down for St. Louis with 3:20 left here in the 4th.
Pressure's pretty much the key here.
And underneath it is complete to Brian Natkin. And Natkin gets over the 40-yard line. Jamal White makes the tackle for Oakland. Clock moving as we approach 3 minutes left here, 4th quarter. Boy, I tell you, the Rams are taking a lot of time here. They're down by a point.
All they have to do is get in field goal range, Grant. They don't need to score a touchdown. They just have to get it close enough for Wilkins to be able to attempt a field goal.
Now Angelo in motion. Ooh, Farmer able to elude. And a nice catch. Michael Coleman. And now they are inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. And he was able to elude as Akbar Baja Biamila almost had Farmer down.
Plus, in today's game, you need a guy who can get out of trouble and still be able to find a receiver down the football field. You know, that's certainly the trend. All of these guys are bigger today than they were 15 years ago. They're still fairly mobile.
And that's going to get us to the 2-minute warning. Farmer will not get the snap off in time. So we've got 2 minutes left. And the Rams threatening. The Raider defense trying for a stop. They're leading by a point.
Tonight at 11 on CBS 2 News.
New developments in the murder of Deputy Steven Sorensen. Police have surrounded the suspected killer and now say they'll take him dead or alive. I'm Harry Green.
And I'm Laura Diaz. Plus, the hopefuls are laying their cards on the table, but what do they hope to achieve as California's governor?
And did the jury buy a waitress's story that she was drugged by Dennis Rodman?
Tonight at 11 on CBS 2 News.
They got going big time. Madre Hill, the big run of the game. This 50 yards. He was caught from behind, but not before he got inside the 5-yard line. Then a couple of plays later, Hill from a yard out. That made it 7-0. Defense coming up big. Anthony Dorsett stopping a Rams threat with an interception. And moments ago, this touchdown pass. The extra point, though, blocked. And that's where we stand, 7-6. But the Rams moving the football at the 43 of Oakland. Farmer. Incomplete. Good coverage. Very good coverage by Sadiq Shabazz. Step for step with the intended receiver.
You know, they were trying to isolate a halfback out of the backfield on Shabazz there, but he covered him very well, followed him all the way across the backfield and down the sidelines. Made it look like it was just an out move, but he took it up the field, looking for the big play.
Rams have 1 timeout left. Farmer, the quarterback, with a 2nd down and 10. The protection was there at first, but Akbar Majabiamilan wasn't going to let go of Farmer that time, and he comes up with a big sack. 7-yard loss.
He was looking for an up down the right sideline. Receiver couldn't get away. Eventually just ran out of time.
And almost fumbled the football. A good look there.
This game has turned into a spelling bee.
How about that?
You're right.
That's why we call him AGB. Saves us a lot of problems. We were talking about his brother, Kabir, for the Packers. And in Green Bay, they call him KGB.
He loses 7 yards on that play, and more experience though. You got to find a way to get rid of the ball, not take the loss, so that you can help get your team in a better position to convert on 3rd down, or at least get closer for a field goal try.
Is it still called the KGB with the demise of the Soviet Union?
You got me there, Jim.
He may be the only KGB left.
How about that? That's right.
There you go. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Raiders, they like AGB a lot better because that was a big play right there. It moves the Rams back almost to midfield and makes it a 3rd and 17 with 1:42 left. Let's see where the pressure comes from here. The Rams send 2 receivers wide to the right.
The Raiders look like they're only going to rush 4 guys and cover with 7.
Farmer. And almost picked off. He overthrew his intended receiver. Brock Williams had it right in his hands. And now it's going to be 4th down. Boy, the open, and then Williams not able to hold on.
It was just overthrown, I think. He didn't quite throw it exactly where he wanted to. Overshot his receiver. Right in the hand of Brock.
That ball sailed on him.
Yeah, it did.
Troy Edwards, the intended receiver.
They had no choice but to try and go for it and try to pick up 1st down.
Minute 37 left, and this is your ball game right here on a 4th and 17. This time they send 2 receivers to the left. Edwards, top of the screen. Looking long. And incomplete. And the Raiders are going to win their first preseason game. Brock Williams on the coverage. That ball well overthrown. And Oakland now will get the ball and be able to run the clock out. So the Raiders will take over at the line of scrimmage. And that will be right at midfield. Bill Callahan will send his offense on for a couple of more snaps. And again, we talked about the real bright spot were the young players, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. I think the second real bright spot, no injuries that we are aware of.
Absolutely.
That was a bright spot on the screen right there.
And the Raiders are just going to run the clock out. But other than that, I think some of the thing is that, they're going to evaluate the film, evaluate each player, each position, and, see just how well they grade out. Did they make any mental mistakes? Did they make mistakes, in their routes? Or in their coverages, and all that will be evaluated, and they'll learn from their mistakes.
Well, Bill Callahan told George Atkinson at halftime they needed to get something going offensively. There was some production in the second half. I'm sure not quite up to the level that he wanted for the adjustments that they made at halftime or whatever they tried. I'm sure they'll look at the films and go from there next week, but you win. Even though it's only preseason, it's better to have the 7 in front of you and the 6 for them than the other way around as you head back to Napa.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel good. All in all, it's not a really important score, but it does make you feel good and makes the week go by a little bit easier.
Hey, guys, before the clock hits 0-0, we certainly want to thank Mike Taylor, the public relations director for the Oakland Raiders, and Craig Long. And I'll tell you, the job that they do for us in preparing for this preseason game, when you have 86 players in camp, they have done a marvelous job, and hats off to them.
And, of course, our guys down in the truck. Let's thank them. And, John, great to have him,
Absolutely.
His time's valuable, and Bruce Allen as well, yes.
And that will do it as the Raiders, with that second quarter touchdown, they make it stand up as Fred Biletnikoff, speaking of all-time greats. And how about Fargas, a very, very nice debut. The Oakland Raiders knock off the St. Louis Rams, 7-6. We'll be back with our final thoughts here from the net right after this. Well, guys, we had a chance to see some of the new faces on the Raiders, and they did not disappoint. Tyler Brayton, Teo Johnson, and Vargas, and I'm telling you, boy, they look very good tonight.
Yeah, they certainly did. Mondrell Hill continued to shine in the preseason for the Raiders, looking for a spot to make on this football team. They did a lot of good things out there. They'll be evaluated. They'll, talk about what they did right, what they did wrong, and go from there. But all Coach Callahan wants to see is some improvement.
And I think we'll see it as it goes on. John Madden said they're the team to beat. They're on pace. Callahan before the game was happy where everything is. They'll just continue to improve. Grant, great to be with you.
Likewise, that is going to do it. The Raiders beat the Rams 7-6. Our thanks to the guys in the truck, Mark Shaw, Michael Herron, Chris Gargano. For Jim Plunkett, Jim Gray, and George Atkinson, we say so long. We hope you join us. August 22nd at 6 p.m. It's the Raiders hosting the Minnesota Vikings. That's going to do it right here on your Raiders preseason football television network. Grant Napier saying so long, everybody.